And the breath we'll do today is just starting to deepen and lengthen like we usually do. Letting the eyes float closed. And just noticing how you feel this morning. Well, it's afternoon now, but through the morning, how you've been feeling. Just observe that inhale and how long it can be. And a long, slow exhale. So just using simple breathing techniques to calm the nervous system and bring us to the present. And just notice the body right now. You can do a body scan. So we're just looking for areas of tension and kind of progressively relaxing them. So noticing your head, just feeling heavy, the back of the head connecting with the prop or the mat, or if you're seated, just feeling the back of the head, sensing that area. And then coming around to the front of the head, just letting the eyes relax in the sockets, especially if the eyes are closed. Let go in muscles of the face and release the jaw. So we're just going to continue our breath practice as we do this meditation of relaxation. So keep feeling the body, just noticing your neck. Breathe into the neck and exhale any tension. Feeling the tops of the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades, noticing anything there. Relaxing, noticing the spine. And then feeling around in the front, feel the chest, the heart, any sensation there. Inhale, exhale, let the chest fall, relaxing. Feeling the abdomen, sensing this area in the center. I like to visualize the organs floating freely in warm water. You can visualize that, the soft belly. Noticing how your hips feel, low back, all these connected areas. So taking a breath into the hips. Exhale, release. And then beginning to feel the thighs, the knees, the legs. And then finally feeling in the feet, the soles of the feet, each toe, really grounding with the feet. So just feeling any part of the feet that are touching the ground. Feeling the arms, the hands, the fingertips, softening. So we've done a few minutes of this. Just notice the body now. And you're welcome to formulate your intention for your practice or for your day, for longer than that, if you're working on something each day. So holding that in the heart space, take a breath in, holding it in for a moment, and then exhaling. Awesome. And then not having to do anything, just feel, just be right here. So we're going to come to a seated position for just a little bit. If it's hard to sit cross-legged, you can always sit on pillows. You can sit in any version that's better for you. You could sit with the legs out. If they get tired, bring them in. We're just going to do a little stuff for our neck because I actually woke up with a lot of neck tension, shoulder tension. I think it's stress, like psychosomatic stress. I wanted to talk about that today. So just sitting and then feeling your neck. Let's clasp the hands and bring them behind the head and take a breath here. And then exhale, dropping the chin towards the chest. And it's just a really gentle pressure with the hands. You're not pulling, it's just applying a little pressure. And breathe into the back of the neck. About 5 breaths, one more. Maybe you pull just a teeny bit, and then you can let go and come up. And then we're going to stretch the right side. So let's go ahead and let the left ear drop towards the left shoulder. And as you do this, feel your right fingertips on the floor, and then maybe you walk them out to the right a little. So getting a stretch on that right side. It's 5 breaths here. Good. And we'll bring the head back up and do the other side. So letting your right ear towards the right shoulder. The left fingertips can walk away from you a little bit. And then we'll bring the head up. And then we'll have the chance to do a couple of rolls. So just a little half circle. So don't go back yet. So you can drop the left ear to the left shoulder and then roll the chin down towards the chest over to the other side. And you can just take a few of these with your inhale, exhale steady. Doesn't really matter where you end up or which part is the inhale, which is the exhale. I'm just feeling this out. And then let's come back to center. Let's inhale the arms up. And then we're just going to drop the head back. So it might only go a tiny bit. Just stretching the front of the neck here. You can go back in a little back bend if you want, but if you're not sure about how the neck's going to be, then don't really take any sudden movements. But I'm just going to go back a little and then come back down. Arms can come down. So just feel how this feels. You can go up with the shoulders, do some circles, and then switch direction. Awesome. All right, so let's come on to hands and knees. It's just coming forward, just doing a little stretching with the cat-cow with the spine. So inhale, let your belly drop and your head lift. Exhale, the opposite rounding. A couple more. Inhale. You can really stretch the neck here too. Exhale. Do one more. Exhale. And kind of a side bend. So you're going to take your head and look over, kind of like you're trying to look over at your right butt. And you're doing like a C shape and getting into the side body. So you can actually look back and then come back forward and then look back the other side on the left. Awesome. And then let's take a child's pose for a moment. Just release the arms and shoulders. Maybe your arms go alongside the body. Good. We're going to come into our first yin pose. So those were more just like stretchy, a little more yang movements. So I want to take the melting heart pose, getting into the shoulders, getting a back bend in the upper spine. So go ahead and take hands and knees and then walk hands forward. Remember, you can put something under the knees if this is bothering you. So breathe in, exhale, melting the heart down, adding a prop under the chest and head if you need it. So that would look like just bringing something under. Your hips are still up. And you can even turn your head sideways if you'd like. You might want to switch it up, go to the other side at some point. So we do want to feel something in the upper body, shoulders, maybe the neck. Just going to time the pose for us. So we're just going to take 3 minutes here. We're taking our self-care so we can show up stronger for others. We need to nourish ourselves first. So if you feel weary over the last however long of craziness that's going on, upsetting news, this is your time to be present with yourself, to take care of yourself. We're calling it radical self-care. Is a way to take action. And also in our yin practice, we are going inward into our thoughts, our minds. And as yogis, we have the duty to really observe our thoughts, see what's unkind or untrue. We really have that opportunity to be kinder, and it just starts within us. We're halfway through this pose. See what it's like now. So remembering impermanence, moment to moment, the pose will feel different. Every pose will feel different in your body, and your body's different. And each time you come to one of these poses. So always accepting just right where we are. And also just accepting if we're tired, weary, achy, any of these things. 1 more minute here. We have a few more breaths here. Let's feel the hands and then press down into them so we can lift up. Walking your hands back. You can move the prop if you'd like, or keep it for your child's pose. So we'll just come back down. Let your arms relax. So even if they're stretched forward, they're not active. They can be back here. All right, so we're going to come on to the front body next. And it would be great if you could bring along a pillow or something you might need under your neck or your head. We're going to go right into another upper body opener. So it's the kind of weird one to describe or to show. But it's where we stretch the right arm out to the side and use the left arm to push into the earth and roll onto the right shoulder. You can bend your knees here if you want, or put one foot down for stability. You can I really need something under my head for this pose, or my neck feels funny. So you can take a pillow or two. That's why I mentioned that. Good. This can be a big pose. If this is too much, the arm is stretched overhead, kind of towards your computer, and you roll onto the shoulder. So I've heard this pose being called broken wing. We used to call it roadkill in teacher training because we just didn't know what to call it. And I don't really use that word very much, but just the idea of we're just kind of stretched out, like splattered on the ground here. Your right or left arm can come back behind you. Just go really slow if you do that. Nothing sharp in the shoulder joint, nothing sharp between the blades. Be careful. So it's about 3 minutes on this side. Noticing if you're someone that carries tension in the upper body at all. Sometimes it can be the jaw, the shoulders, obviously neck. And can you release that on your exhales? Each exhale is a chance to let go of something, any stuck energy, blockages. So just notice if there's a tendency like to hold the breath, hold yourself out of the pose or in the pose. Let go of effort. Let go of straining and striving. And this can be done by backing off the pose a little bit, using the exhale to soften. We're halfway through this. And please know, of course, you don't have to stay the whole time. If you need to back off, it's okay. Physically, emotionally. And if it's a mental game, can you really use that inhale to become more present? Breathing into the tissues that you're targeting right now. Exhale, letting go of that effort, surrendering. About 10 more breaths here on this side. Taking another 2 breaths here. When you're ready, slowly, if you moved your left arm, bring it back around. And for me, it does feel a little pinchy as I do that. So I'm going as slow as possible. And then slowly, really slowly roll out of that right shoulder. That's a big one for me. I don't know about you all, but so you can maybe you turn your head the other direction, just stretch your neck the other way. Arms can be alongside or bent by your sides. Let's do the other side. There's no rush. Just join when ready. So left arm either out or towards the screen, towards the front of your mat or your space. And then right hand helps us roll into the shoulder. Maybe the knees bend. Maybe a pillow under your head or something under the neck. A block works too. I've used a block before for this pose. Probably like a foam one, not a wooden one. That right arm, see, I always just automatically bring it back, but not everyone does. So remember your options. Right hand for support, can be beside you, can be behind. Also, it doesn't matter if either palm is facing the ground or the ceiling. So you might even notice in yourself, what's the natural inclination? Do I want to put my palm up or down? That goes for either hand. I love this one, but some days it's not happening in my shoulders. So please be very mindful. So this is calming actually to the heart, strengthening for the lungs. We have meridians of the heart, heart protector, and lungs traveling through the arms in the chest. And there are also a lot of channels back in the shoulders, the shoulder blades too. A nice open heart here, breathing into the chest, into the belly, and exhaling. So you've been here about a minute. Just see if you're able to let go anywhere. So I noticed that there's like pinchiness in the shoulder blades for me. So now I'm backing off a little, bringing my right hand over here. Just kind of letting you all know how I usually deal with a pose like this. One of the weirder, more difficult or more confusing poses to get into. We're about halfway through this. Noticing what arises in ourselves, the thoughts and the emotions. About one more minute. A little bit more here if you're still in the posture. But focus on that one place in your body. You'll know where that is. Breathe into it. Exhaling, let it go, release. And then when you're ready, please very slowly come out, slower than you think you should. And staying present, feeling every moment as you come out, and being out of the pose is just as important as when we're in it. It's to feel what's happened, allowing the body to absorb that last pose and what it meant for this body. Good. Resting here. Let's slowly bring hands under shoulders, press up and back, and come into child's pose with wide knees or a tadpole with the feet separated too. So that'll be our next posture. So grab any props you might need for the head, the chest. If the hips are way up and won't go down to the heels, maybe some pillows in between. So there's always things we can do to modify. So taking this more inward, let the eyes close. Ease yourself into it. Don't think you have to get there immediately to your stillness. So each pose has its beginning, middle, and end. Releasing in the upper body. We've already worked there for a bit. Just letting go in the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades. You're always welcome to do one of those body scans again, like we did in the beginning, just mentally. Or whatever way that you need to find that stillness. Sometimes that even means moving a little bit first. Nice. So we're about 90 minutes in. We probably have found some level of stillness or maybe some intensity in the stretching. Remember that breath gets you through the pose, allows you to just sit with the waves that come. Different waves of emotion and thought, sensation, any sensory information. Notice the breath here in this pose, different than in any other. Beautiful. Let's take about one more minute. Few more breaths. So we'll start coming out of this wide knee child's pose or frog really slow. Just you can come up and move any props you might need to. You can lift your hips and kind of crawl all the way back down. Just rest again. Release the hips, the knees, the ankles. Can you still focus right where you were in the pose? What is happening in the body? Taking a few more breaths of rest. And then if you need any movement, you can take some. Anything of your choice. Let's then go into a Sphinx pose. So we have been back bending in the upper back and now getting a little more into the middle lower back. So if your feet are closer, you probably will feel this go up the back a bit more. If your feet are further apart, it's a bit more concentrated in the lumbar spine. So you can go ahead and figure out your level where you want your feet. You might just find where they fall and just flop them open. Nice breaths here, just beginning the pose. And then you can decide if you want to go deeper, if you want to come down a little bit using a pillow under the chest. If you want to take seal, sliding hands apart, lifting elbows. Notice where your eyes are. If they're looking all around, can you focus looking down at one spot or close them? Breathing into the chest, the belly, you feel pressing into the earth. We're taking about 4 minutes here in this one. We are about a little over that 90-second mark where we're starting to feel things settle down. The tissues settle a little bit more. We settle into the pose a little bit more. Breathing, remember always coming back to that breath. So we used to talk about going to the edge in our yoga practice. It isn't as much being right on the edge of discomfort anymore, because that does require some effort to do. So just maybe doing a little bit less at times. Like if you think the pose is so intense, if you went one smidge further, it would be way too much. You might be a bit too deep. So it takes a lot of wisdom to really know when to not do something, when to stop, when to even be silent, to talk less, to do less. It can be hard for people. We really learn a lot in this practice about acceptance and learning wisdom, inner wisdom from our bodies, our minds, our spirits. So let's just take a few more breaths here. When you're ready, we'll come out really slow. So let's take a breath in together. As you exhale, rolling the spine down and taking more breaths as you need to get down all the way to the ground. Let it go. When you're ready, maybe your knees bend, you can windshield wiper or wiggle the hips. So we're kind of doing a whole like hands and knees, lying on the front body, going back and forth here. So when you're ready, lifting up, we will stretch back for another child's pose. Take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to take threading the needle with the upper body. So back to our hands and knees for one more of these poses. And this will be a little shorter because we're getting back on the shoulders. So left hand push down. We're going to inhale, right arm up to the sky. And let's flow just a little. Exhale, swoop it under. We'll do two more. Inhale, reach. A little twist, open twist and close twist. Exhale under, and one more. Inhale up. Exhale, coming under. This time the shoulder and head can come to the ground or to a prop. And kind of like that other, so this is a closed, more of a closed shoulder pose. We're getting a twist in the upper spine. You can also turn this into a shoulder open or a shoulder pose, kind of by moving the chest a little more towards the floor. If that's too pinchy, maybe you move your head and chest more to the side. Left hand, again, it can stay down for support. It can come behind you, come to the low back. It could even draw forward. Take your time to find that place of stillness. You might have to fidget a little bit, just add or take away props, get more comfortable. How's the breath here? How is it trying to breathe into the abdomen here? Feels a little bit different. We've got that twisty feeling. Nice. A little more time here. Less than a minute. Always backing off if you need to. You could even be doing an entirely different pose, and that would be fine with me. As long as you're breathing and being present, you're doing the practice. Even if you just lay on the floor the whole time. Last couple of breaths here. You can start bringing your left hand back next to your head if it's moved. And then use that hand to press down and lift the body up. You can slide the right arm out. You can lift it up one more time if you want. Inhale. Exhale, hand comes down. You can do some cat cows here or take a child's pose for about 5 breaths or longer, of course. Do your own thing. Good. And then we'll do the other side. We'll do 3 of those little swooping up motions and then come down on the third one. So press right hand down. Inhale, left arm out and up. Exhale, swoop it under. We'll go back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lowering when ready. So head, shoulder, whatever reaches the floor, the prop. And then the right hand, maybe it stays here. Maybe it slides a bit forward or comes around behind you. And it will be different on this side. It could be a different depth. It could be different ways to modify. Let it be that. Just let it be as it is, sitting with that. You can use your breath to get into that stillness. You can use it for anything, really. It's really just stillness in the physical body. You can feel the breath breathing and moving. You can feel energy and blood flow. You don't have to strain to breathe. We can just simply breathe. Let it flow freely. Halfway through it. So about 2/3 of the way through, or 1 minute left. Making it really count by being so present through this last minute. Breathe into the shoulder joint or wherever you're working, if it's the upper back. Stay with it. So we'll take a couple more breaths. And then coming out, you can bring your right hand back next to the face or head, press it down. And then let's inhale up once more. In, exhale down, child's pose or any other stretch or position. Just observe how you feel right now. And start winding things down. Breathing here. What does the body need? So we'll do a seated hip opener, or this can be done lying down. So coming to a seat, we're just going to bring right leg over left. So it can be stacked like this. If one knee's way up, maybe you put some pillows or prop under here. Knees can be closer. And then if this just doesn't work, it can be crisscross or lie on your back and do thread the needle. So we want to feel the outer hips. You can lie down, crossing right ankle over the left thigh, and then lifting that left foot up, you can pull. So hold behind the thigh or in the front of the shin, pulling towards you. Use a strap or a belt if you can't reach without putting the head and shoulders down. And then for the rest of us, you might be sitting and feeling a lot just sitting here. If you need a little more, you can round forward or you can straighten, lean forward. So just getting into the hips. We're gonna do, we'll probably do about 5 minutes for both sides. So if this is uncomfortable, that it's okay, it's temporary. Good. So 2 minutes here now. You can use a prop. Since I'm bent forward, I will use one. Generally this, and just lean on it. So if you bend down in any of the forward bends and you feel like you've gone too far, of course, you can always come back up little by little. If you're not sure how far to go, it's just where does your body fall and then where does resistance start happening? So right about here for me, I would just let go, drop my head. It's about 10 more breaths on this side. More breaths here. Let's come up slowly. If you're seated and you're rounding forward, if you're lying on your back, you can let go of the legs and release this. If you're sitting and you didn't bend forward, you might just let the legs come out. You can always do a little windshield wiper motion. And then we're just gonna switch the cross of the legs. So it would be left over right this time. Knees can be close or far away. Props can be used. You can sit on something or you can lie down and take thread the needle. So just getting into it however you need to, however you're ready. I'm kind of leaving this one a bit more open on purpose so you can use your own learning about your body and intuition. Just go with what you need to without any, shame, like, oh, I should be doing something else. No, not at all. You're right where you need to be. So remember, if you're on your back, It's going to be crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. You're going to want to kind of push the left knee away and then bring it in. Lily's got up from her nap. She's hungry. So it's only another actually less time, 1.5 minutes here. Please let go in the jaw if that's tensed up. Maybe for this pose, you just breathe into any area that you normally carry tension, even if it's not targeting in the pose. So for example, I'm targeting my hips in this pose, but I'm going to focus on relaxing in my neck and shoulders, because I know I have that tension there from earlier. One more minute. Few more breaths here. Let go of something. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll come out. So if you're folded, rolling up, everyone's just gonna uncross or let the legs just go, and we'll come onto the back. So just slowly roll down. Stretch everything out here. Let's bring the knees into the chest. Give them a hug. Rock side to side, or take some circles, or happy baby, just whatever feels good. The twist today will be really brief, so let's just bring the knees to the right, just for the sake of time. I'm taking 10 breaths on each side. And so we already did twist in the upper body. This one getting a bit more low spine, I mean. And then when you're ready, come back to center. We'll take the other side. Any variation you like on the left, or whatever. You could have done left first, doesn't matter to me. Good. We'll slowly roll back to center. If you need to hug it in one more time, you're welcome to. Breathing, squeezing everything in. Inhale. And then exhale. Let everything go. Let your limbs relax. Finding your most comfortable position for relaxation. Taking a few moments here to just really absorb everything that we've done in our practice today. Just finding that resting position, be comfortable, and let go one more time. So just starting to come back to the present. If you've drifted a little, that's okay. Stirring a bit, reawakening, moving fingers and toes. If you'd like, you can circle wrists and ankles or stretch the arms out or overhead. Take a deep breath in and out. Awesome. When you're ready, rolling over to the side and pausing for a breath there. And then finally coming up to your seat, we'll close our practice together, bringing the palms together at the heart center. May all beings be free of fear and harm. May we all be happy just the way we are. May we be at peace with whatever comes. And may we all live gently in the softness of our own hearts. Namaste. Thank you so much.